Hey, and welcome back to another episode of my Mars Movement series that I have now on SFS. In this mission, we're going to be doing some low Earth orbit construction for something we're going to be sending to orbit Mars. So that's pretty interesting. Our first launch here is pretty standard, doing a gravity turn right about now. You can see our launcher is also pretty standard. We have those two side boosters on the right, right and left, and our middle core, which actually has two engines. One of them is inside that decoupler housing. So you can see we're launching here, and we get to orbit pretty quickly. It's not that difficult with this one. We have this is the lighter of the several payloads we'll be launching. And you can see here we have our upper stage. It's pretty simple, just two more engines to propel us all the way into orbit. So what we're building here is we're building a space station, and then, like I said, this will sit in orbit of Mars. The two modules we are launching on this mission specifically, and that we are now circularizing, are a solar module, and then there's kind of a central docking area. And actually, right over here, we're going to switch to our second launch. We have a slightly modified version of the original booster. There were some issues during launch, and you can see here I time warped ahead too, so that we can get an encounter. And I did it basically perfectly. We're getting one right off the bat here. We just have to accelerate there. Now, I don't match the trajectory that's given perfectly, as I'm trying to reduce the closing velocity of once we get there, because our upper stage thrust away ratio it's not huge. So we're really just helping ourselves out when we end up having to match the velocity. So you can just attach those side boosters, and we're burning here a little bit more just to match that trajectory now, because it's sufficient enough. And then we have our upper stage here. So you can see for the payload for this stage, what we have here is, if I get another look at it here, we're time warping ahead now to the encounter, and I time warped a little bit too far. We don't match it completely. I match it close enough to where we have another encounter there that we can get instead. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to, match that trajectory that's given there. But anyway, with this payload, we have a second solar module, which will dock to the end of the first one, and we also have an ion drive, and that's going to kick us all the way to Duna once we end up getting it fully assembled. So you can see here we're doing my docking, and I'm not great at this part. I overshoot a little bit and then try to use the RCS ports to move us closer. And then the docking section, I'm not great at this generally, and then I'm even holding the phone sideways here. So really, and there's a weird bug in this version where if you zoom in too much, you can't actually click the triangles, so I'm not able to pick the exact one that I want to focus on. So I end up having to just maneuver around here and remove basically everything. I wanted to leave those extra tanks there attached because they had one of them had a significant amount of fuel in it. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that though. So you can see here we're docking the solar panels end over end, and then I'm just docking this one to the ion drive. And there will be something to balance that out there in just a second, or on the next launch, which is right here. And this launch, we're doing a little bit of a different flight profile. The last time, I went kind of over, so we would have a less high encounter velocity. But this payload is very light as opposed to the other ones. So we're just going to go straight up to that point and then meet up with it there. Now, originally, there was going to be another launch, and then we were going to transfer all the way to Mars with this video. But I'm going to be postponing this and the series as general because, the next update for the game came out while I was recording this, actually. That's why it's not finished. And in that version, there is no way to rotate the screen sideways. So we could do this all with the vertical, but I don't think that would be as interesting to watch, so I am going to put this on hold. Unfortunately, I know I said I was going to try to do that, but don't worry, we'll have plenty of videos regarding the update. There'll be shorts probably, and they'll just be done vertically. So you can see here we're matching we're getting our encounter here, and it's going a little bit slower. Here you can see I'm just kind of pointing towards the craft and burning, and then here I'm counteracting part of our velocity. And that's really just my strategy. I just burn towards it, and then we time warp ahead, and then I, make that velocity 0. So you can see here, our module here, I don't really know, I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what it's supposed to be. It's really just aesthetic. It has two little modules there for docking, for docking crafts with smaller docking ports onto. I make a little bit of a mistake here. You can see right there, I just decoupled the fuel tank with those 2 nodes there off of the rocket. So you can see I fiddle with it a little bit here, trying to get it to dock, but it really doesn't. Like, I try to dock it to that big docking port because it won't fit on the little ones, but it really doesn't want to cooperate. The magnetism is too strong. It's wobbling all over the place. So this goes on for some time, and eventually I ended up just giving up for the night. It was pretty late at the time I recorded this. And then you'll see I was just kind of messing with it the next day, and I decided to move it around to that other docking port, and then I got it out of nowhere. You can see it's right about here. You can see it's connected there, so I just decouple those again, and then I turn it so that they will magnetize. I break some of the RCS ports, but they kind of were ugly anyway, and I really didn't want to actually have those in the end. So it kind of worked out. You can see there I get the other one. But yeah, so once this gets done, there was planned to be more for the video, but that's about it. We're kind of a little bit shorter. So I want to thank you all for watching here again today, as you can watch me badly try to dock this. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe, be sure to like the video, and I'll see you guys later.